Hey everyone, let's talk about the Benin Kingdom in modern-day Nigeria. This place shows how awesome and vibrant Africa's history and culture really are. This powerful kingdom existed for hundreds of years, leaving a huge mark on the area and the world. From its amazing art and buildings to its smart government, Benin was a big deal, even outside its own borders. We're going to dive into the Benin Kingdom, looking at its rise to power, its culture, and what happened when it met European countries. Benin's story is all about strength, creativity, and rich culture. It reminds us of the many different African civilizations that shaped the continent's past and still inspire us today. Knowing Benin's history is super important for understanding African societies and questioning the European-focused stories that often get told. From the 1600s to the 1800s, the Benin Kingdom had its best time, becoming a major player in West Africa. Being on the coast meant it could trade with lots of places, near and far. Benin's traders dealt in valuable stuff like ivory, pepper, palm oil, and cloth, making the kingdom rich and powerful. Benin was famous for its beautiful art, especially its bronze sculptures and detailed ivory carvings. These artworks, made with special skills, showed the kingdom's rulers, gods, and everyday life. Benin's art became a symbol of its power and culture, with its bronze statues traveling far and influencing other artists. Besides trade and art, Benin was important politically. Its strong army with good weapons kept the kingdom safe and helped it grow. The Oba, Benin's king, who was seen as chosen by God, had total power and shaped the kingdom's politics and culture. The Oba was the most important person in Benin. He was seen as a king chosen by God and the protector of tradition. People believed he was descended from the Yoruba god Oduduwa, making him super special and powerful. The Oba's palace, a huge place with courtyards, shrines, and meeting rooms, was the center of power and showed how grand the kingdom was. The Oba's time as king was full of fancy rituals and ceremonies that showed his divine status and were meant to keep the kingdom safe. He held court with advisors, chiefs, and priests making decisions, accepting gifts, and running the kingdom. The Oba's wives, sometimes hundreds of them, were also important, having influence and taking part in rituals. The Oba wasn't just a political leader, he was also a spiritual one. He connected the people and their ancestors, performing rituals to keep the spirits happy and the kingdom prosperous. When the Oba died, it was a big deal, with special funeral rites and the choosing of a new ruler from his sons. Rituals were a big part of life in Benin, from birth to death. These rituals, often with music, dancing, and offerings, were meant to honor ancestors, please the gods, and keep balance between the spiritual and real worlds. One of the most talked about rituals was human sacrifice, something that's often been misunderstood. In Benin, human sacrifice wasn't seen as cruel. It was the ultimate offering to the gods to keep the kingdom safe. People believed that spilling human blood, seen as a powerful life force, could calm angry gods, prevent bad things, and ensure good harvests. Human sacrifice wasn't done casually. It usually happened during emergencies or big ceremonies like crowning a new Oba. The victims were usually prisoners of war, criminals, or people thought to have special powers to please the gods. In the 1800s, Benin started meeting more Europeans, especially the British, who wanted to control more of West Africa. This led to misunderstandings and disagreements, ending with the British attack in 1897, a terrible event that changed Benin forever. The British, thinking they were better than everyone else, saw Benin's practices, especially human sacrifice, as savage. They used this as an excuse to attack, saying they were making things more civilized. Really, they wanted to control trade and take Benin's resources. The British attack destroyed Benin City, the capital, and they stole thousands of precious artifacts, including the famous Benin bronzes. These bronzes, now in museums all over the world, show how amazing Benin's art was and remind us of the damage caused by colonialism. Even after the terrible events of 1897 and the fall of the Benin Kingdom, its legacy lives on. The kingdom's art, especially the Benin bronzes, is famous worldwide for its skill and beauty. These artifacts show how rich Africa's art history is and how talented its people are. Benin's history teaches us about cultural misunderstandings, the harm of colonialism, and the importance of protecting culture. Getting the stolen artifacts, including the Benin bronzes, back to Benin is a big topic now. It's about making things right and dealing with the effects of colonialism. Benin's story shows the strength of African cultures and how important it is to remember the continent's diverse and often forgotten histories. By learning about Benin's past, we can better understand Africa's contributions to the world and the lasting legacy of its people. Like and subscribe Emgotv360 History for more stories.